Well, they fought for our freedom, and now they're being forced to fight for their own benefits. That's because Congress, late its budget, puts the burden on our veterans' pensions payouts. But they won't go down without a fight. Pete Hegseth, the CEO of Concerned Veterans for America, and the captain is here with us now to discuss. How shocked were you that this passed?
Unfortunately, not shocked, because we saw it with the shutdown, the way vets were used as pawns in that process. So here again, Washington dysfunction because they can't get a budget settled, because they can't find real places to reduce spending or get at our debt or find compromise. They go to veterans, and they go to veterans' pensions, and not grandfathering in older retirees. Everyone under the age of 62 feels an indiscriminate cut to future benefits because they can't find anywhere else to cut. It's mind-blowing.
Right, maddening to some, means so much so. Concerned Veterans for America, you guys actually put out this ad that I want to share with everyone. Take a listen.
What did the recent budget deal accomplish? Significantly reduce $17 trillion in debt? Keep a bipartisan promise to reduce spending? Reform entitlement programs? Clean up DOD's budget and spending habits? Cut retirement pay for America's military? Washington can't reform spending. Now politicians want America's heroes to pay the price. Call your senator. Tell them to do their job, keep their promises, and work for the real reform Americans deserve.
And Elizabeth, the point of that ad was to say veterans have sacrificed a lot. We could sacrifice again. If this was a big deal that was going to get at our $17 trillion in debt, that was going to reduce our spending, address all the problems we have, because we know our fiscal future is at risk. And veterans understand that. But it didn't do any of that, and it was thrust on the back of veterans. So why this group being targeted? Why now? If it's part of a big deal, we get it. If not, there's better ways to go at trying to reduce spending. Other groups, I think a little bit less deserving, you might say,
sure.
Illegal immigrants, others that are carved out of loopholes, instead it hits veterans.
Sure, we saw the waste book the other day, and there's a ton of spending in areas that just doesn't seem to make sense. How disappointing is it for those who have served, continue to serve, that the commander-in-chief didn't stop this when it was on his desk?
Well, it's just like the shutdown on the monuments and the death gratuity benefits. The commander-in-chief could step in, veto this, immediately stand up and say, I'll sign this if you carve this out and change it. It does start at the top. The tone starts at the top. So it's very frustrating. It is a clear breaking of faith for someone who served to know that these benefits that they fought, that they're been given, are eroding away before their eyes. Congress is allowed to do it, but ultimately that commander-in-chief is the one who can make that call. And in this case, they're letting it slide. It's a very political situation. It's all politics. That's what everyone will tell you. Well, it's all politics, and they're rolling over veterans in the process.
So it's a small scratch in the surface of our debt, but a huge impact on families. I mean, up to $70,000 in the course of 20 years plus for some, depending on how long they've served.
And wounded warriors, Iraq and Afghanistan veterans who are wounded, are seeing even more of a cut because they've been on these benefits from the very beginning. So it hits those folks the worst and the most, and that still hasn't been changed. They say they're going to fix it, but why pass it in the first place? You've seen other people stand up on principle and block bills at certain times. That didn't happen on this one. Instead, they say, well, don't worry, we'll quietly fix it. Maybe they will, but it's still a reflection of priorities and a gut punch to veterans for sure.
Well, a promise is certainly something Americans don't know if they can count on the military, so it'd certainly be questioned.
Right.
Captain, thanks for being with us this morning and bringing it to us.